I think a lot of people are going to be excited about this, Sabrina. And I'm also going to see if anybody else is excited about something else that's moving forward. And that's a reboot to Kick-Ass. And that leads me to our featured story of the night. Let's get it. You were, well, no, you're good. But Kick-Ass is coming in a reboot form. Now, apparently they're saying right now, okay, breaking it down, Matthew Vaughn was talking about this, did they originally say he's going to reboot it, but you're not going to have Aaron Taylor Johnson back. You're not going to have Chloe Grace Moretz back. They might pop in, he said, for a sequel, though. But the first reboot, he said, they're not going to be in. None of the original cast. I would love Nick Cage to come back. Nick Cage was fucking great as Big Daddy. And then, yeah, right. right. And Jim Carrey was a fucking shit, too. He was awesome. He was weird, but he was fucking awesome, the second one. But this is going to be happening. Matthew Vaughn's making this, moving forward, and currently he's actually putting it together, hoping to shoot next year right now. Of course, early on, we just came off the writer's strike. These things are going to start happening. You hear more and more creators talking about what they have coming next because now they're able to talk about it, start ramping up, start getting productions moving, start making it happen. Kick-Ass again. You are right, Dick Tracy, Richard Tracy. Sorry, I won't call you Dick. Yes, you're right. There is going to be another Kick-Ass starting over from the get-go. And he said that, we're going to take them back. He said, again, reboot. But it's something reflective on the times we're living today. And that's kind of what they're going to be. And he was doing a press junket where he was talking about this. And he's talked about it multiple times before, but now it's really cemented down. This is his next thing he's trying to really develop and help move forward because it was a very popular franchise. And I honestly love it. And Aaron Taylor Johnson at that time, I still call him Kick-Ass, even though his career has blown up since then. But that was a huge role for him, gave him big opportunity. And I mean, Hit Girl was fucking awesome too. She kicked everyone's ass. I was just fuck yeah. It was a great comic book adaptation, I think, and it's fun. It's brutal. There's bloody. There's gore. There's all that, but it's also a lot of comedy. And McLovin himself was awesome too, and they're just playing the villain. I mean, overall, it's a fun thing, but they're gonna reboot it. Recast it. Well, he didn't say recast. So he said he's going to have maybe people come back the next one. Are we going to do a new Kick-Ass? Is it going to be somebody else is taking up the mantle of Kick-Ass? Or maybe it'll be a whole new cast and then it's I don't know. That's the question. How can they come back? It must be a new, younger Kick-Ass and then we're going to bring maybe the old one in. Maybe he's a mentor later on. I don't know. It's original actors with none original actors. That's it. The reboot will have none original actors, but the next one they might come back for.
Well, it's a reboot, not a sequel. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it makes sense, but...
Yeah. All right, Sabrina, what do you think? Are you excited about this? Does it make sense? No. You want to see a Kick-Ass reboot?
No, I don't. I don't want to see a Kick-Ass reboot.
I think you're not as excited as Scott Pilgrim?
No, I'm not. Not at all. Look, I can only put my sign off on a certain amount of things per show. This one ain't gonna get it. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's again. It
goes awesome.
Just do something fucking different. Yes, Queen, I agree with you. Yes, absolutely. But I don't need, especially if you're gonna just reboot it with a bunch of other clumsy superheroes. I get. No, just no, don't. Please don't. I don't want to put a stain on the first one. It was really good. And it's kind of and I'm not comparing it to this, so please don't get on me about it. I'm not comparing it to Nightmare Before Christmas, but I don't think that we need another installment of this bullshit. The first one, great. Second one, shit. Third one, right. No, thank you.
It was all right.
No, the second one sucked balls. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Second Kick-Ass was not very popular. Thank you, Richard Tracy. Hold on.
Yeah,
Queen Glenn. Second one, forgettable. No shit, Sherlock. Thank you, Queen. Proving my point. No, I don't.
The second one had a ton of controversy around it with Jim Carrey.
The second one was BS. No, thanks.
Did it have a lot of controversy with Jim Carrey? I don't remember that.
Remember he got all pissed off and then banned the film. He criticized it and banned it and was
really?
Yeah, remember? Because he was playing a character in it that he then didn't approve of that type of character and said that the world's too full of problems with people like this in it. And he was all I don't approve of this. And was boycotting the film and boycotting his own character, and they were basically we're never going to work with you again. It's kind of one of the last.
Threaten me with a good time. Yeah. Fuck off.
Yeah, he completely ripped the film apart after he made it. He was this movie's garbage. He's everybody was an asshole.
What do you do with it?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Let me tell you something.
So they'll never get him back. he'll never.
Richard Tracy's saying it too, and he's retired too. Anyways, he said he retired after Dr. Robotnik for the second movie. He said, "I'm done."
Richard Tracy basically is saying what Lexi said. Sorry, this way.
So Lexi, would you watch a reboot of this? You think it's a good idea for Matthew Vaughn to move forward and reboot this franchise?
Well, like, Kick-Ass was really good.
The first one.
It was impressive because it was one of those films that did it went against the grain. Like, it was an unconventional superhero film. It was very violent. It was very
violent, showing
like this type of stuff that people weren't used to. Now we have The Boys. The Boys existed. Kick-Ass. Like, you have to respect Kick-Ass for what it did. It was a pinnacle film in opening the door to the underground, dirty superhero stuff. The not Marvel, not DC stuff. It was like, hey, there's a whole other world of superheroes. It's really kind of R-rated and kind of whatever the people have been reading and following for years that you guys can also like fuck around with too if you really want to, and you should. And this was an attempt at it, and it worked out really, really well, and people latched onto it really well. The sequel didn't work as well, and that's because the first film was just so pure in its presentation and just so raw and visceral and completely unexpected in what was previously being presented. And Hit Girl was such a people didn't expect to see a little girl playing a character like that. And so it was really hard for people to kind of almost like latch onto. Like, people liked her because she was so almost Harley Quinn. Like, it was like very disturbing and very like whatever. And so it opened this whole entire door with it. But like, you can't reboot it and do it again. It's done. It's done what it did. Its purpose is there. And now we have a very large oversaturated superhero market that if you want to go into that bin of like, because we've got Invincible and we've got The Boys and there's a ton of those. There's a ton of those. And let me tell you, there's a ton of really great ones that are not being adapted yet that I'm like, hey, this one's good, and this one's good, and this one's good, and this one's good. And I know that Paul probably agrees with me, like 100%. I know he's like probably sitting there going, like, yeah, I know of some too. And I know that other people that you have on this show that are probably like, oh yeah, I can think of some too. Like, I know so many alternative. I mean, shit, like we talk about Spawn. Even Spawn deserves like a chance at just getting another shot. And he's a much larger branded superhero. No, he does, Sabrina. He deserves another chance. Give Spawn his day. Give him his fucking day. He deserves it.
Spawn?
Yes.
Leave Kick-Ass in the past, you're saying.
Yes. Leave Kick-Ass in the Spawn. It's time for Kick-Ass in the past and give Spawn his day. But seriously, like, stop with this shit. Like, that movie was so fucking good. It's another one of those examples of, let's reboot Nightmare on Elm Street. Let's reboot The Exorcist.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like, but they do this shit all the time. Like, they go back and they find successful, good films instead of finding things that broke.
And then they fuck them up.
Like, there's so many broken, bad films out there that needed a second chance that had really brilliant stories, but just were poorly executed that you never try. And it's like, or there's stuff that just hasn't been done yet that you could do that everybody's sitting around going, like he just said, like, Phoenix Jones or like whatever.
Or like,
I don't even know some of that shit.
Yeah.
But people like just trust your writers. Read scripts instead of fucking trying to make someone write something that you feel like will do well. Read fucking scripts. Invest in something that fucking makes you move, like in whatever way, shape, or form. Like, fucking support the fucking art. It's not a money machine. It's art. In the end, it's fucking art. In the beginning, it was art. In the end, it will be art. You're making it a cog in a wheel that is fucking really uncomfortable for everyone who enjoys fucking doing it. And it's fucked up. Stop doing it.
It's capital.
Now it's money.
I don't want it to be.
Money, Sabrina. It's a business. It's show business.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Thank you for being super fucking obvious. I'm telling you what it fucking should be.
I know.
What it should be.
It should
Not
be.
what it is.
It should be.
Like, fuck.
Paul, do you think that we're oversaturated, like Lexi's saying, with these kind of graphic superhero projects? I mean, The Boys, we both talk about The Boys. We love The Boys. I mean, Gen V now's out, and they're trying to push this new, I mean, it's becoming a big thing. I mean, superhero projects in general, there's a lot of them out there. But do you think that Kick-Ass should even exist in the world right now, or should they leave it back in the past and let it just stand by itself? What do you think about this project moving forward?
Yeah, I don't see the point. I really don't. I love Matthew Vaughn. And that said, you know, with not really being excited about a reboot of a great movie, which I think is stupid so for so many reasons, I really know myself and I will go see it, but I don't think a general audience. Here's the thing that I think about is when it comes to movies, you notice that Hollywood and a lot of producers go after IPs and they try to create something based off of an IP and a name, and people brand it. They know what it is. Well, at one point, Kick-Ass was not an IP. It wasn't anything anybody knew, and they made it, and it was great. So make more original content that people will get excited for, and they will come in droves. But we already know the story about Kick-Ass. We already know it's already done well. Why do it again? So, and as far as the oversaturation goes, yes, and it's not just the gritty, it's in general. I feel like superhero movies in general are just not as that's quite a picture. Just not, people are just not as excited about comic book movies anymore. I mean, look at the fact Marvel's isn't going to be coming out with, you know, a big mega, you know, $1 billion hit right off the top. It might, who knows, but it just doesn't look like
it's not looking good.
No, and I think people are just kind of waning on it. And then you look at something like Barbie and Oppenheimer, and that's not a comic book based IP. That's not.
Shout out Michael Cera.
Yeah, Michael Cera again. Is he in Oppenheimer? I don't remember. No, but I think it's going to be.
Fuck you, Paul. Fuck you.
I really just think it's too much, and I think that when it comes down to it, we don't need reboots of things that have already come out. We need original IP. Unfortunately, when you think of original IP, my first thought of recent ones that were completely original. Where, you know, besides Oppenheimer and Barbie, if you want to say Barbie, was The Creator, which didn't do well. And
super original.
That might be the fact that it wasn't.
I saw The Creator and I really liked it. I know it's not popular opinion. People didn't like it. I liked it a lot. It was visually stunning. It was a beautiful fucking movie. The whole like plot, I guess, was a little bit convoluted and you know, like whatever. But like just to see the acting performances and the beauty of what was on screen, it was really, really, really beautiful to watch, and it was entertaining. I wasn't upset that I was there for 3 hours or whatever.
Great message too.
I really want to go see it, and I will say before my time is up here, yes, Lexi. As far as like comic book movies, I had 3 that went off in the top of my head. I'm like, why aren't they making this? There is one that I'm particularly enjoying right now that I'm happy to say they are making into a series, which is Ice Cream Man. And it's one of the best horror comics I've read in a long time. It's a lot of fun. It's really creepy. Highly recommend that one.
You know what, though? This Richard Tracy, he's absolutely correct. The Phoenix Jones stuff, I remember following that story. Phoenix Jones was a real-life superhero. There's a whole entire community. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I'm thinking, Paul, if anybody. There are real-life superheroes. There is a registry on the internet of real-life superheroes.
I've heard about that, yeah.
Was a real-life superhero. He wore a full costume. He went out in the world and superheroed, and he was constantly getting in trouble with the police. And his story is absolutely fucking insane. It's one of the craziest stories. I've watched so many YouTube stories about this guy. I followed him when he was like existing, and then I've watched his demise. Like, it was years I followed him. Like, yeah, well, he deserved to go down. He was not. He was a vigilante. Like, he was wearing a yellow and black
he was a Batman guy, like wearing a Wolverine suit.
Was he like? I always think of when I think of a real life superhero, I think of the movie Super.
Kind of, yeah. And then, if you remember, there was a show on Amazon for a minute that followed the real life superheroes. They followed one of the guys in
on Amazon.
Vegas. Yeah, it was an Amazon show.
Really?
They followed the guy in Vegas who, his name is Captain something. He makes shit in his shed. He makes like
Captain Dildo.
I don't know, but he makes these like metal. He wears like a metal outfit, and he builds like apparatuses. Like he thinks he's Batman, and he goes out and he like creates these things. But the thing that's funny about this is they make these outfits and then they go out and they basically like work with the police, and they're basically like, like
work with the police, or pretend they're working with the police, or
like they go out they'll go out and they'll be like volunteer firefighters more than anything. Like they'll be like, okay, and they'll do like crowd control, but they'll be
But the cops are like, okay, we're cool with you in your costumes, like doing this.
Sometimes they will, because like
so weird.
This all sounds insane.
It does sound insane.
They don't interfere, but that's where Phoenix Jones was like a problem, because he would interfere.
Oh, he did interfere.
Go out, and that's why they kept having to arrest him and having problems. So he got in real fights. Like, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Phoenix Jones was also MMA trained, and that was another big problem, is that he would go out and do straight, and he would try to get into situations that would allow him to use his.
Yeah, someone said. Richard Tracy said if he got into real fights. Yeah,
he was nuts.
I think it's dangerous for people to really go out and do it. I mean, we all fantasize about it, but when the reality comes,
I do.
Well, I do. I did since I was a kid. But it's like freaking Spider-Man. But when it comes down to it, the reality of this, the reality is that it's dangerous, and that was one of the things about Kick-Ass that I really enjoyed, was the fact that it explored. And I don't know why, after watching that movie, you'd want to do that. But, he gets his ass kicked in the first 5 minutes. He's in the hospital with all of his bones broken.
Hold on. I'm fine with getting my ass kicked, okay? But I, like, my fucking... yeah, absolutely, because I know I can kick anybody's ass. But, like, my actual concern is like dressing up in a costume and going to the cops and being like, hey dude, I'm just gonna follow behind you and like figure some shit out. Like, what are you, fucking nuts? They're fucking cops. Like, I'll dress up in a cool outfit that will probably be black and leather, but like, I'm definitely not going to be like, Popo, are we cool to have a partnership here? Like, maybe I'll just come up, maybe I'll head in first, you come up behind. No, that's not a thing. That is fucking weird. That is like beyond weird.
That's like why Batman is so
I love Vigilante. How dare you?
Talking about the Guardian Angels. I know all about the Guardian Angels.
I'm sorry. Okay, let me get in there.
New York. Absolutely.
When I talk, it's hard.
They're crazy. Like, they're nuts. No, keep talking.
No, that's all fine. Like, I just am not gonna like dress up in a fucking caped weird costume and be like, yo, bro, should I go to the left and y'all go to the right? Like, what? I mean, I don't think the cops are like, I just think it just seems very strange.
Like, I'm a big fan of what Batman, the way Batman is doing it in the comics is, yes, he's a vigilante.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm sorry, Paul. Keep going.
He doesn't. It's okay.
I do too.
You don't see him like being with a camera crew following him around, while he does, fights crime. He comes in, he does his thing, and he goes back in the fucking shadows. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to make it. That was for Rachel.
But that's the way it should be done. Is like you don't do it for celebrity and for people to follow you and take pictures. You do it to save and help people. And I feel like a lot of people, they're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
It feels
okay.
If you're helping
I get that.
people,
I get that. Yeah.
Big thing. If you're actually going out there and putting your life on the line to save people, like anybody else, like a police officer or a cop, not for the notoriety, but for the fact that you can do that. That's why I was out there. Where the fuck is Batman these days? There's got to be a Bruce Wayne out there somewhere that could be doing this shit, right?
Apparently, it's Curtis Silva.
No, George Clooney can do it. He's pretty much Batman already. Put fucking Clooney in a bat. I mean, I know he's a horrible Batman, but he was a great fucking Bruce Wayne. Put him out there. He lives that life anyways. He could be fucking Batman tomorrow like that. I don't know how to do fighting, but if he did some mixed martial arts, maybe he could get in there, Clooney. Clooney.
If he was super rich and had the monetary availability as Batman did, there could be probably a Batman in real life, but it's certainly not what we're talking about right now. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we have people who have the money to be a Batman in real life, and what 100%. They do is
but they don't want to be. They don't want to be. They don't choose to be. They don't choose to be.
They want to a giant penis and fly it into outer space, and then,
or be coddled, or told how amazing they are, or like
people kill their jobs in their factory.
That's the only way we're going to get it done.
Stop people from having unions.
How was that, Paul?
We have to kill their parents early on when they're children. That's the only way.
Jesus!
That's like some Deadpool shit. That's like some Deadpool. Where you live the Hitler and the baby, that whole thing. Woo, that's a lot. But the Kick-Ass thing. But the Kick-Ass thing,
No,
like, any-
no.
I mean,
Cruise control does not support killing any parents. Menendez is.
not putting that out there.
That's
but,
enough.
But you know, Kick-Ass was like a real vigilante, and it does open up the door for people to be like that. And maybe one day we will get a real
Does anything happen
superhero.
if I do
Or maybe fucking Superman will crash down and be an alien and save the day.
No.
I don't know. But until then, we get more reboots of fake superheroes like this moving forward. And if you're a fan of Kick-Ass, you might be upset about this. And you might be excited because you love it and you want to see what they do next because it might be potential for them to come back later on. You never know. But Kick-Ass, a reboot is coming. Matthew Vaughn is making this happen. And I mean, I'll probably watch Lake Paul. Probably watch it. We'll see if it's good.